We have added 4 new members, increasing our total to 13 members, contributing and exchanging news material every day. But our influence is just not limited to the region. We have been expanding our network across the globe. In the Middle East and Northern Africa, we have Sister Union, Arab States Broadcasting Union, sharing news with us daily. In Europe, we exchange news with over 60 different European broadcasters, and in America, CNN receives news materials from AVN and broadcasts them all over the world. Asian news is changing faster and having more of an impact on global affairs than ever before. Through improvements in technology, journalists are able to submit and access more news stories and receive updates faster through our newly integrated internet-based platform. The new internet platform has made it easier to contribute and access current news events, and the rise of membership participation has led to a dramatic increase of items being exchanged over the last year. With the exchange of news comes the exchange of ideas. Members can also benefit from AVN journalist workshops and attachment schemes in our bid to create partnerships, spread knowledge, and elevate standards. So, contribute your views in global affairs and join us as we document history in the making. Asia Vision. Asian news through Asian eyes.
Hello and welcome to AVN News with me, Mariam Shawshat. Heads of state from across the world gather in London this week for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. The organization emerged from the breakdown of the British Empire in the last century, and critics say it has failed to shake off its colonial legacy. But as Henry Ridgwell reports, the Commonwealth is under renewed focus in London as Britain looks for new global partnerships after it leaves the European Union next year.
Beneath the pomp and pageantry, deep questions linger over the Commonwealth's future. What is it for? What role should the former imperial power, Britain, play? In her opening address to the summit, Queen Elizabeth, the head of the Commonwealth, made it clear she wants its leadership to stay in the family.
And will decide that one day the Prince of Wales should carry on the important work started by my father in 1949.
Critics argue the Commonwealth should sever its royal links.
The problem in recent decades, really since the 1990s, is that as the Commonwealth has lost its relevance, it's lost any really major unifying issue to make it newsworthy. The only really newsworthy thing about the Commonwealth has been the royal family.
The Commonwealth has made headlines this week, but not for the reasons the British government intended. Prime Minister Theresa May apologised to the leaders of Caribbean member states after it emerged migrants who arrived in Britain in the 1950s and 60s from what were then British colonies had been refused residency and threatened with deportation.
We are genuinely sorry for any anxiety that has been caused.
Prime Minister May later apologised for the role Britain had played in criminalising same-sex relations in its former colonies.
I am all too aware that these laws were often put in place by my own country. They were wrong then, and they are wrong now.
Campaigners say millions of gay, lesbian and transgender people live in fear of arrest across the Commonwealth.
36 member states still criminalise same-sex relations. 9 have life imprisonment, and in parts of 2 countries, Nigeria and Pakistan, gay people can be put to death. Quite clearly, the rhetoric of the Commonwealth is not matched by the practice of the governments.
Despite tensions, the Commonwealth Summit has offered progress. Billions of dollars pledged to tackle malaria, a crackdown on plastic waste, a rainforest conservation drive. It also offers a global platform for countries seeking investment.
We are going to troll the whole world, right from Africa, Asia, Europe and the Americas, both North and South, to try and campaign for investments that will come to South Africa.
Some British lawmakers want to reinvigorate the Commonwealth as a free trade bloc after Britain leaves the European Union. Others say such rhetoric simply reinforces the Commonwealth's image as a last vestige of the British Empire. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.
Recently, the world was stunned to learn that an island of mostly plastic trash floating in the Pacific Ocean grew to the size of France, Germany and Spain combined. Because plastics take centuries to decompose, could civilization someday choke in it? Scientists at Britain's University of Portsmouth say they may have found a way to speed up the decomposition of plastics. VOA's George Putich reports.
This complicated machinery may hold the world's best hope for solving the problem that is slowly choking our planet, plastic waste. At the Diamond Light Source facility in Oxfordshire, scientists from the University of Portsmouth and other scientific institutions were trying to analyze the chemistry of an enzyme that helps a certain bacteria decompose the most common plastic known by its acronym PET. Using beams of incredibly powerful light, they changed the enzyme's structure and then reinserted it into the bacteria to see what will happen.
We actually thought we were making the enzyme slower by changing a few amino acids, but actually we've made it faster. We've made an improved version of the enzyme, better than the natural one already.
Under the microscope, scientists could see the bacteria eating plastics more quickly. The process is similar to the development of laundry detergents in the 1950s, whose enzymes were made more stable, enabling them to decompose proteins in fat and dirt much faster. But speeding up decomposition of PET proved to be a much tougher task.
And now we can actually digest PET within days, much quicker than in the environment. And the idea here is that we can make the enzyme faster now by understanding how it works, and then we have an industrial process.
For now, scientists say they can generate only grams of the new enzyme. In partnership with industry, they hope they will be able to produce kilograms. They also hope that further experiments will lead to even faster working plastics-eating enzyme. George Putich, VOA News.
Asia Vision, Asian news through Asian eyes.
What if refilling a prescription was as easy as withdrawing money from an ATM? A South African tech company wants to make that possible. Its innovation, the pharmacy dispensing unit, is being tested in Johannesburg, and health experts say it could provide a strong boost for the fight against HIV/AIDS in South Africa and potentially the region. Zahir Kasim reports for VOA from Alexander Township of Johannesburg.
Hilda Dlala is off to pick up her antiretroviral medication. She must do this every month. In the past, she could miss a whole day of work waiting at the clinic, but not today.
Before, when I was taking my medication to the clinic, I have to wake up 5 o'clock and come back again 5 o'clock. Now I think now this new system is much more easier, because now I can take my children to school and go and collect my medication. It's much more easier now.
This is the pharmacy dispensing unit, or PDU. The machine was developed here in South Africa and is being piloted in Johannesburg townships in partnership with the local government. The PDU scans a patient's identification. A pharmacist pops up on screen for a quick check-in. All that's left to do is pick up the medicine refill from the bin below. It takes about 3 minutes.
So here we provide chronic medication, and the majority of our chronic patients are HIV positive, so they take ARVs. That's close to 90% of the medication that we stock here.
Currently, 3,000 to 4,000 patients are seen a month in this facility, with this number expected to quadruple within the next couple of years.
South Africa has the world's largest HIV epidemic, accounting for 1 in 5 people living with the virus globally. But only about half of HIV patients in South Africa access ARV therapy. Dr. Mabulawa Mugabe of UNAIDS is optimistic about the PDU.
So for me, it's a game changer, because one of our biggest challenges today in most countries in Africa is the fact that our facilities are congested. We need to find ways in which we can release the congestion, both in the interest of the patient themselves, but also in the interest of the health systems themselves, so that we lessen the burden. In other words, patients who don't need to go in queue don't have to go in queue.
PDU centers are expected to open soon in 2 other townships. The company envisions one day installing PDUs in malls and other public spaces as well. Zahir Kassim for VOA News, Johannesburg.
Asia Vision, Asian news through Asian eyes.
The US and Cuba say relations remain the same following the inauguration of the country's new president. Miguel Diaz-Canel was sworn in to replace Raul Castro, who took over from his brother Fidel in 2006. VOA's Laticha Hawk reports the new president has vowed to uphold the Castro legacy.
For the first time since the 1959 revolution, Cuba has a leader who is not a Castro, but will it matter?
Desde la labor que realicemos,
from every job and trench of the socialist motherland, I will be faithful to the exemplary legacy of the Commander-in-Chief Fidel Castro Ruz, historic leader of our revolution, and also to the example, the courage, and the teachings of Army General Raul Castro Ruz, current leader of our revolutionary process.
President Canel said this is how Cuba will face its imperialist neighbor, referring to the United States. The two countries have had no diplomatic ties for more than half a century, until the embassies reopened in 2015 during the Obama administration. But the following year, a number of U.S. diplomats in Havana were afflicted with mysterious ailments, and all but the most essential staff were pulled out of it.
They have allowed for our investigators to go down and do their jobs, but as we have said many times before, at the White House and also here, that in a very small country like Cuba, they may know more than they are sharing with us.
The relations cooled under the Trump administration. A spokeswoman for the State Department said Wednesday that the Cuban government silenced independent voices in order to maintain its repressive monopoly on power.
We urge the new president to listen and respond to Cuban citizens' demands for more prosperous, free, and democratic Cuba.
U.S. President Donald Trump said, "We love Cuba. We're going to take care of Cuba." He made those remarks during a visit to Florida's Key West Island, which is the U.S. point closest to Cuba. Zlatica Hoke, VOA News, Washington.
The most decorated Olympian of all time, swimmer Michael Phelps, no longer competes, but he is never far from water. Phelps talks to VOA News about water conservation and what he does at home to preserve the precious resource. Tina Trin reports.
Michael Phelps is a multitasker.
Even for me, like in the morning, like when I do take a shower, I'm brushing my teeth in the shower.
The most decorated Olympian in history knows a thing or two about saving time. But these days, he's all about saving water.
Water has been such a big part of my life, an important part of my life. And you know, for me, it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to spread the word that we need to conserve as much as we can.
Phelps has partnered with Colgate to promote water conservation through simple everyday techniques like turning off the tap while brushing your teeth.
Did you know that leaving the faucet on while brushing your teeth can waste up to 4 gallons of water? So please turn the faucet off next time you brush.
4 gallons of water. It's like 64 glasses of water. So, I mean, that right there should be enough where, you know, you can make that change and cut back on your showers or make sure you're turning off the water.
With Earth Day around the corner, Colgate has created a water-activated drain sticker to remind users to conserve. Consumers can also take an online pledge to save water. With 71% of the world's population experiencing moderate to severe water scarcity at least 1 month out of the year, Phelps says small efforts like this can have a global impact.
It's so easy that everybody can do it. So, I mean, I think that's a big, easy step that we can all take, every single one of us.
These days, the father of 2 is also thinking about future generations.
Being able to have a 2-year-old now, he's kind of picking up on every little small thing that we do. So it's fun to teach them things like this early in their life, because then it allows them to be able to carry it through their life, but also teach other people the importance of conserving water.
It's just one of many lessons the versatile athlete is passing on.
I always have dream, plan, reach. That's my motto. Have a dream, figure out a plan how to get there, and reach for it. If you fall short, go back to the drawing board, figure out a different plan, and try to get there. I mean, anything is possible, and I believe that. You know, I think there were so many people that doubted the things that I was doing, but I believed that I could do it, and I wasn't going to stop until I got it done.
Tina Trin, VOA News, New York.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for joining us. Have a pleasant day ahead. Goodbye.
Asia Vision, Asian news through Asian eyes.
ಅಂಗೆನುಂಗೆ ಖಿದಮತಕ್ಕೆ ಫಿರಿಹೆನುನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಫ್ಫದೆನ್ ಗೌಮನ್ ನುಹನು ಬೇನುಂತೆರಿ ಅದಿ ಹಾಮೆ ಮುಹಿಮು ಖಿದಮತೆ ಅಂಗೆನುನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಜ್ತಮೌಗೆ ದೆಬಾಕುಳ ಎಬ್ಬೆ ಅಂಗೆನುನ್ನಾನುಲ ಫುರಿಹಮೆ ನುದೆವೆ ಎತ ಗೌಮಿ ಖಿದಮತೆನ್ ಎಬಹುರಿ ಏಗೆ ತೆರೆಗ ಅಸ್ಕರಿ ಅದಿ ಮದನಿ ಖಿದಮತ್ತವೆಸ್ ಹಿಮೆನೆ ಪಕಿನ್ ಹಾಸಕೊ ದಿವೆಹಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಗೆ ಗೌಮಿ ದಿಫಾಯಿ ಬಾರುಗೆ ಸಫುತಕುಂ ಅಂಗೆನ್ ಕಂಬಲುಂ ಫೆನುಮಕ್ಕಿ ಉಫಾ ಕುರೆಂಚೆ ಕಮೆ ಸಿಫೆಂಗೆ ಖಿದಮೆಫದ ದೀನಿ ಅದಿ ಗೌಮಿ ಮುಹಿಮು ಖಿದಮತೆಗ್ಗ ಅಂಹೆಣುಗೆ ಬೇವೆರಿವುಮ ದೌರು ಫುಳ ದಾಯಿರಾಯಿ ಗೊತುಮಕಿ ಮಿಯದು ಅಳುಗಣುಮೆ ಫಹುರುವೆರಿವಾಂ ವಿಕಮೆ ಸಿಫೆಂಗ್ ಉಫೆದಿ ಗಿನ ದುವಸ್ತಕೆ ವಂದೆ ಸಿಫೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆಗ ಖಿದುಮೆ ಕುರಮುಂ ಐ ಹಮೈಕಣಿ ಫಿರಿಹೆನು ಸಿಫೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆಯಂ ಅಂಹೆಣುನ್ ಲೆವ್ವುಮ ಸರುಕಾರುಂ ಗಸ್ತು ಕುರವ್ವಾ ಫುರತ ಮಯುಲಾಂ ಕುರೆವಿ ನವಾರಸ್ತೇಕ ಫಸ್ತೊಳಸ್ ದೇವನಹರು ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಮೊಹುಗೆ ಅಶಾರವಣ ದುವಹು ಮಿ ಉಲಾನಾ ಗುಳಿಗೆ ವರ ಗಿನ ಅದದೆಗ್ಗೆ ಅಂಹೆಣುನ್ ಸಿಫೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆಯ ವಣುಮಂ ಹುಶೇಳಿ ನಮವೆಸ್ ಎಫಹರು ಎ ಫುರುಸತೆಂ ಅಂಹೆಣುನ್ನಕ ನುದಿಬುಣು ಏಗೆ ಸಬ್ಬಿ ಸಹರು ಫಹುಂ ಅನೆಕ್ಕಾವಿ ಸಿಫೆಂಗೆ ತೆರೆಯಂ ಅಂಹೆಣುನ್ ಲೆವ್ವುಮ ಸರುಕಾರುಂ ಇವುಲಾಂ ಕುರೆವ್ವಿ